Hi, I'm Kathy Swart, and I'm a librarian at Pierce. I've been lucky to work with your professor for a few years, especially on this assignment. So in this video, I'll show you how to find refugee narratives, searching in our database of databases, Primo. So you want to start at the Pierce College homepage, and then go over to Student Resources, Campus Resources, and hit Library. If you scroll down to Library Search, this is basically what we call Primo, which searches across all our databases. You want to hit Advanced Search. That's because you're going to be searching for something that has three different concepts: the idea of a refugee, the idea of their story, and the idea of where they're from. So we hit Add a New Line, and then we can put in our keywords. I've done this for the sake of speed: refugee or refugees or immigrant. The little asterisk just helps us save time because it will catch immigrant or immigrants. Same with store for story or stories, narrative for narratives. So remember the little asterisk symbol for that reason. And the or just says we would like at least one of these, but we will take any of them. And so we're asking the database to return to us something that has at least one of these words, one of these words, and one of these words. And the first thing you want to do is look at your results, especially the first few screens, and see if you're on the right track. If not, you go back and you change the keywords in the search. Usually I have to do this at least 10 times to get good results, but I'm just, in the interest of time, I'm trying to set up the search a little ahead of time. So once we find something we might be interested in, go and look at the subject terms. This actually tells you what the book is about. And then if we're lucky, we have even a description. And then you can decide from this page, is this something I'm interested in pursuing or not? And if you are, you just click one of the databases. Well, in this case, it's one. Sometimes it's several. Click that link, and it will take you to the book. So now I've set up the search for someone if you're interested in researching immigrants from Central America or Mexico. I put in El Salvador. If you have a country in mind, it doesn't hurt to add in or and then the country name. And one thing I want to alert you to is that if you're not able to come in to campus, look on the side here and you can check available online. So you will only get results that are available to you from home. And you can also look here for resource type. And just like your book for this class, a lot of refugee narratives come in anthologies. So if you find something that, if it says book chapters, that might assure that you're not going to have to read or skim a book or find an entire book about someone's story and then try to condense it. Book chapters just make it a little easier. And we seem to have plenty of these, but they don't seem really targeted to Central America, Mexico, or El Salvador. I guess the top few will always be. Here's a really good one. In this book, you get several different stories from immigrants from that area. I think this would be a good option for some of you looking for, a nice chapter length narrative of someone who immigrated, who actually was a refugee from one of those countries. And for the example of Afghanistan, just some tips. I used refugee. At first I tried it with or immigrants, but the search didn't go as well. this is actually what I came up with. I got better results when I used Afghanistan or Afghan war, because a lot of the articles that talk about refugees from Afghanistan use the term Afghan refugees. You never really know what term people are going to use until you do some searching. So be sure to allow yourself enough time to search and just look around, and so you can pick up the terms that are really going to work for you. So I'm going to limit it to being anything available online. And I'll see if there are any book chapters here. It's fine if they're not. It just can be a handy thing. Now I'd like to address one of the essays in your book. It was by Ariel Dorfman, but it really didn't go into his refugee experience from Chile. Now, there were a lot of refugees from Chile after the 1973 coup, and you will find their stories. Maybe if not in your book, you will find them in our databases and even on the web. One thing you might want to do for this search is the usual refugee or immigrant or exile, because people fleeing dictatorships often, their status isn't exactly refugee, but they're referred to a lot as exiles. So remember this word. And then just the country, Chile, this seemed to bring up the best results. Then if you have the name of a refugee, luckily we have some authors who write about their experiences. A lot of refugees don't happen to be authors. They don't have the privilege to be able to write and publish their stories, but these two do. And what you can do is change this field here to author, Dorfman, Ariel, or Allende Isabel, and then you will get some of their actual stories. And it doesn't hurt also to go to the web. I just typed in Chilean refugees, 1973, Pinochet. It's always good to just throw in a specific word. We know that Pinochet was the dictator in Chile who threw the coup. And by putting his name in there, I really pare down the results to refugees from that particular dictatorship. So in summary, go to Primo, get your 3 concepts, brainstorm different keywords, and be flexible about trying a variety of different keywords. Look through your results, do some skimming, pick up more words, the names of other refugees, plug those back in. We call it research an iterative process. Iterative meaning around and around and around. And this is normal. It's not supposed to be a straight line. And also use the web. If you can find the names of refugees that way, a little bit of the background sometimes. And the next time we'll have a video about looking at the credibility of sources and how to find the historical context. Thank you, and feel free to reach out to me for any help.